Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do a little Christmas in July this week. I am working on a Christmas ornament, kind of an homage to my family, several generations of quilters. And I have a lot of these little sewing machines, but I had this one I think I'm going to use for the Christmas ornament. And you can kind of see here there was a space that I was able to put a jump ring in. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. Okay, so I went on Etsy and I ordered these little metal plates. And in silver, I have the one that says Family Quilters. And then there is my great-grandmother Gusta, my grandmother Laureen, my mom Margie. All of these are gone now. And then I had my name on this one. And I asked my cousin about her daughter, if she would mind if I put her daughter on here, because she's the next generation and the only one who's interested in quilting. And so I did order this one of Katie. And so I'm going to add Katie to this ring, and then it will be hanging off of the jump ring. And we're going to make a little quilt. I've already been working on it so it doesn't bore you to death, but I've just been sewing tiny little strips together. And I'm going to do just one more to show you how I did it, but then we're going to cut them apart and we're going to make it a little more patchy. So I'm going to go with one more here. And what I did, I just took scraps to do this. It's nothing special. But because I wanted them similar in width apart, I sewed from this side so I could line up my seam. So I just stick this piece underneath. And then I'm going to sew just about right here, maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch, depending on how big your ornament is and how big you want the squares on the quilt to be. Okay, so once I have that little seam sewed, you can kind of see there the width I was going for. I go ahead and trim this off, and you can trim it close if you want, because this is not something that's going to be going through the wash and things like that, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Okay, and then we're going to be cutting it like I said, but before I do that, I do want to go ahead and press this. I want it to lay as flat as possible. Alright, so I'm just going to trim off the edges here. And then I'm going to trim them, allowing for more seams. I'm going to trim it just about there, 3/4 of an inch. Make sure I have that right. And then we'll do another. And we'll fix that in a minute. That's a little crooked, but that's okay for what I'm going to use it for. And let's see here. And then just take these edges off. grab my scissors for the spots that didn't quite get cut through. And now what I'm going to be doing is just rotating, and I'll sew those together. And you know what I should have done was added one more piece, because look, the middle is the same. So I think what I will do is just take off a piece. And these, of course, will have to be pressed because they're going to start getting really tight. But we're going to keep on sewing, and I will bring you back once we're done. Okay, so I pressed that out, and now I'm going to cut off maybe right here. And now I want to put a border around it. So I'm just going to pick out, I want something kind of bright. Okay, I have a pretty long piece of this, so we're going to use it. So now with scissors, I'm just going to trim this off on both sides, and then I will do the same thing to the top and bottom. Okay, so we are to this point. Now I need a solid, you actually, depending on how you glue this on, you wouldn't have to put a back on it. I am going to go ahead and sew a back. So I'm just going to find a piece here in my scraps that's going to be big enough to use. Okay, this will work. So we're gonna sew 3 seams and leave the bottom open, right sides together. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna come in just a little bit and just leave a small opening at the bottom to turn it. Okay, so now I'm just turning this. You want to poke out your corners. Grab my scissors, or if you have a turning tool or a dowel rod, a pencil, a pen, anything will work. You just want to, which mine aren't going to square up very well. Well, it did better than I thought it was going to in that one. Okay, and by coming in just a little bit down here, sewing, all you have is this. So all you'll have to do to close it, I'm going to top stitch all the way around it and that will close up the bottom there. So we basically took another scrap and we put the right sides together and we sewed like a pillowcase and turned it, and then whenever we tucked in the other ends, and then we just top stitched all the way around for decoration, but also to close up the end. So now I'm going to take another seam around all the patchwork. Now this is just to help it lay flat. Okay, so what I'll be doing is just tucking this in something like that, and then we'll be using a lot of glue, you know, to make it stay in place. So it'll be something like that, and then we'll bring out that jump ring, and we're going to have the names dangling down the side of everybody in the family. Now, I had already made one little quilt, and it's cute, but I think I like how colorful this one is. But here's the other one. I made a tiny star, and then, you know, I sewed all those strips together, and I cut it into 4 pieces to make a border patchwork, and then outlined it in the pink. And this one, because I knew it was going to be glued down, I sewed all 4 sides, and then just cut a slit and turned it, and you can see I've top stitched that just a little bit to make it lay flat as well. So this one is cute because it's a tiny star plus a little patchwork in there, but this one is so much more colorful that I think I'm going with this one. So we'll grab some glue. Okay. This was a pill, but I've got it started. The biggest thing I wanted to make sure of is that our names would all be laying the same way. So I am moving those around and putting Katie on. Okay, so we have everybody on. And now, I think I do want to glue first. I don't want to risk getting any glue on this. And I'll just make sure that this is, no glue touches it. That way we can attach it quite easily. And you know, I may even look to see if I have another smaller ring and move all of these to a smaller ring. Okay guys, so as you can see kind of how they bunch up down here on the larger ring, this small ring is not going to work at all. So that's okay. It's still going to be cute. Now you could even not put them on a ring and hand stitch the names to hang from the quilt. That's another idea. But I think I just want to go ahead and glue the quilt down and put them on the jump ring. Okay, so now what I'm looking at is, I think these corners are more square. I had one up here not quite so square. So that's the one I want to make sure that I'm pushing through. And we're just going to glue it down. I'm going to be using E6000 because of the mixed mediums I have here. I don't know if that's just a resin, a plastic, or... So I'd rather use something strong. Okay, I'm just going to hold this until it dries. I've just got one dot here on the back. And then it's just up to you. You know, I'm going to put a little dot here. Maybe some right over here. And I'm just going to hold these until they set a little bit. Okay, I'm going to let that set and dry, and I'll bring you back later. Okay, guys. You know, I said this was a Christmas ornament, but I think I want this out year-round in my office. But here we go. Just kind of spread those apart, and you can see everybody's names. So anyway, but yeah, come Christmas, I may decide to put wire on it and make an ornament out of it. But for now, this is going in my office. So if you know anybody that sews or quilts, just think outside the box, and maybe you can make something like this for them as a gift. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week this week. Just wanted to share. Bye.